So go to that document. It's in forourson.com slash passion, right? The first one. So that was the introduction of Flume, and if you come down, you will see part 2 Kafka. So just look at that diagram, right? You have so many existing applications. You create a data warehouse, correct? And from the data warehouse, you used scoop, right? And you copied all the data to Hive or HBase. We have, Hive or HDFS. We have seen those things. And if you have logs, we use Flow, correct? And if you have Twitter, remember, we write the code to connect, download, right? So that's the usual way of doing the things. And one guy named James Krebs joined LinkedIn. And when he joined LinkedIn, this is the situation in LinkedIn. Exactly this is what he faced on his first day. So many databases. There is user tracking, there is logs, there is metrics, and you see this data they want to keep it into some other databases. This data they want to go to some other databases. This one they want to go to some other databases. Typical business problem, right? A claim came in, you have 20 different databases or 20 different places to copy it. A credit card, this one, request transaction came in. You'll have to update so many systems, maybe in the bank, right? To avoid this particular problem, what he did is he created a beautiful architecture which he called as unified log. What he told is everybody is going to write the data to this unified log. Whoever wants to consume is going to take that data from that unified log, so that that zigzag way of connecting is completely getting eliminated, right? And from where he has borrowed this particular idea, if you are familiar with the Oracle, deep Oracle, in Oracle, let's assume that you have got a table, okay, and this is the employee table, and let us assume that you have got two columns, a name and a company where the person is working, and let's say Scott, Tiger and King are the three persons, and they work for, let's say, one for PayPal and one for Apple and one for Microsoft. Let's say this is the table that you are having. The moment you create the table, the moment you insert the table or insert some row to the table, the moment you update the table, there is something happening in Oracle. What is that? Internally, Oracle will write all these things into two very important files called redo log and undo log. It is from these logs that the data is really getting updated. So if anybody knows how to extract the information from redo log, then you block Oracle. Secret. Nobody has done it till now. Nobody can. Oracle has got a big data adapter. It's a separate license. Whenever you update this redo logs, they will take the data and they will put it into HDFS or something. You can't do that. Why? Because they know the trick of reading that particular information. Right? What is this undo log? You know what is meant by rollback in Oracle, right? If suppose you updated and you executed any DML statement, and if suppose you want to roll back, you have to go to the old position, right? So they will use undo logs internally. That's why I would suggest that it is a very big article, but if you want to read the complete details about how these things are working, please search J Krebs, Jaykreps, log every software programmer should know. Okay, JKREPS, JAYKREPS, logs every software programmer should know. The first hit that you are going to see, the log, what every software engineer should know about real-time data, is written by the guy JKREPS, as you can see, and the diagram that I have just shown you is taken from this particular architecture that you see. Okay, so he converted it completely. And now that unified log that you have seen just now, this particular unified log, right? That one is writing the data. If you have observed, it is writing the data, and it is working on the data that is written onto that particular log file, correct? So it is writing the data. All the systems are writing the data, and the people are reading it from that particular system. Below, it is reading, this is writing. In the official world, what is it called? This is called publishing, and this is called subscribing. Okay? And somebody who writes, JKREPS was thinking that what should I give a good name to this particular one. So he selected one who writes, a good author, a very famous author. Who is that? Franz Kafka. And he changed the name of unified log to Kafka. Okay, Kafka is a novelist. The people, he writes the book and the people read the book, right? Very apt name. I think in software industry, this is the only name which has got a novelist's name. Today, in LinkedIn, whenever you post anything, it goes through Kafka. It has proven to handle about 1 trillion messages per day. Trillion messages per day. So if you divide, and if you take seconds, you will get about 200,000, 300,000 per second. If you want to create the similar architecture using commercial software, what is a commercial software available? MQ, IBM MQ. You will be spending at least about 3 to 4 millions. And for implementing Kafka, what you need is 3 computers for this architecture. That's it. Just 3 computers, $15,000. That writes he did very intelligently by going through the internal architecture of how the channels are writing to files, and he goes to that deep level to read and write so that it has been made very fast. Now, what will happen if you have written but nobody is reading it? It will stay inside this until a TTL, time to live. After that, it will automatically be cleared off. So you can set the time to live. By default, it's 24 hours. Right? And what happens if suppose somebody was reading it and in between, something happened to that reading system, and next time when it is restarted, you have to read it from the last point where it was stopped, correct? You should not reread from the beginning, correct? That's called checkpointing. Everything they have implemented. So, this is for you, Suresh. If you look at, if you look at the modern architectures, what modern architectures are doing today, nowadays, is that they will set up a Kafka cluster, and they will tell all the business teams or domains to push the messages into this Kafka, and an application is going to read these values from Kafka. Arrow should be like this. These are all writing, and this will read and will put it into S3, which is an object store, or HDFS. And this can be exposed as high. This is called event bus. event-driven architecture. So any data that is given, so no scoop, no flu, nothing. Are you understanding? It is directly read from Kafka, and then it is pushed into wherever you want. So how easily you created your data warehouse, just imagine. So your data warehouse is getting replaced with these object stores that we'll take separately. Towards the end I will tell you what is object store.
Yeah. Isn't those three databases are bidirectional or database?
Which one?
First three blocks, Expresso.
Oh, what does that mean is that this may send alert back and it may get updated.
Okay.
Right? Does it mean that it is bidirectional? Bidirectional means like scoop, where you take the data, copy it, and you copy the data from here to here. No, not like that. If suppose one message is coming, one alert came, transaction happened in Jacksonville, and at the same time transaction happened in Singapore. It's not possible, right? For a credit card, it's a fraud, correct? So when that particular message is coming, an alert I want to send back. So it's a new message, and it goes back.
So can we say that it is also doing reading?
Yeah, absolutely. You can make both read and write. Okay. The publisher can be a subscriber can be a publisher.
Right. So this Kafka or unified log, this is basically nothing but just a files.
Yes, absolutely. Internally, if you look, it is files.
So is there any specific configuration needed for concurrent access of this file?
Nothing. Everything is by default. And now let's go into the detail. Okay. So how is that particular logs working? You will clearly understand because you know Hadoop already. So let me explain it. So assume that this is Kafka, and now this pipe is called a topic. So whenever you are starting to work with Kafka, what is the first thing that you need to do? You have to create a topic and you have to give a name. And then you will tell the domains and the business applications, hey, put this message into this particular topic. If you want multiple topics, yes, that's also possible. Topic. The topic is like your HDFS file. What will happen if you put the file into HDFS? It will be divided into blocks and it will be divided across nodes, right? Those blocks are called brokers. So topic and brokers, right? So assume that I put twinkle twinkle little star. Twinkle may go here, twinkle may go here, little star may go here. Understand? It has divided into blocks. Its copy is created in 3 places, just like Hadoop. 3 places. So at any point in time, the data can be retrieved, the data is never lost, and you got parallelism. You divided that into blocks, correct? And now all the things that you studied, like MapReduce, when you want to read this particular file, it will know which blocks to read, and then it will read that particular data and will give you map. So topic, brokers. Now, how will they coordinate? Because it is not Hadoop, right? In Hadoop we had name node, data node, all that kind of stuff. How are they going to communicate? You will run a special application. I have mentioned to you this a couple of times, called Zookeeper. What is Zookeeper? Zookeeper is the best part of Hadoop. Inside the Hadoop, what do you think? Who is coordinating the data nodes and the name node? I told you, the name node will ask the data node, are you alive, are you alive, are you alive? And if one data node is down, then it will bring the data from the other data node. Who is managing all these things? Internally, Zookeeper is managing it. So here also, they use the Zookeeper. So before you start Kafka, we will do one thing. What is that? We have to make sure that Zookeeper is running. And then we will create the Kafka, then we will create the topic, and then we are going to read it from that. Clear? Anywhere you are doing a real-time message. So a couple of days back, one of the employee came from the company, and then they were doing the trains are having different bogies. At one time, they don't know whether all these bogies are belonging to one train or not. Why? Because as per your business, at some places more bogies will get added, at some places some bogies will get removed. So at any point in time, I have to know what is the best way. The moment it is getting added or the moment it is getting removed, put it into Kafka. And then from Kafka, you read it. So you always know the latest information. And as and when the new bogies are getting added, you will append it to your particular message. Otherwise, you will just remove it from your list. It is widely used there. Okay, so that's what Kafka is all about. If you look at anything in the world where big data is being used and real time information is used, you know, there is a insurance company, Progressive. They will give you a black box. Anybody Progressive? And that black box you have to keep in your car. Why?
It will keep track of the speed.
It will keep track of the speed. And if suppose 100 times you are going at a speed of 100 where the speed is 60, they are getting that information. And how are they getting that information? Through Kafka. Driverless cars, real-time messages, transactions, fraud detection, everything nowadays is done through Kafka. It has become one of the most powerful packages in the industry. Fully free.
So did we have anything before Kafka?
MQ. IBM MQ.
MQ.
Yeah. And before Kafka means nobody was using IBM MQ on that stage, that level, except the stock exchanges and all, because of the money and the cost that is required. With the arrival of big data, this also came in, so the people started using this. There is very less equivalent currently in the industry for Kafka. Okay, so let's go through all the steps where we are going to install. So I want you to refer to this document because I have put every statement, and please look at this diagram. It is very clear, right? The producer is going to put a message. The message will be that complete pipe is called, that complete box is called your Kafka cluster. And in that Kafka cluster, there are 3 nodes, as you can see. And don't say the word node in Kafka, you will call it as brokers, right? And in the brokers, you will be dividing this particular data. And let me also tell you, the primary copy, right? The primary copy is called actually a leader. And the other 2 copies, the extra copies, are called followers. That is how they use the term. And then you have got the brokers, and then you have got the consumer, right? So that's how Kafka is there. See, the leader and the followers, correct? So leader, sometimes replicas also, don't worry about the name. So what you need to do, we have to first download Kafka and then untar it. That's what we are going to do. So 0.11.02, that is the best version. Even though you have the higher versions, we have to make sure that it is compatible with our virtual machine, right? So I'm going there to the virtual machine, this thing, and then go to Apache Kafka download, enter, right? So download. How will I make it small? View, so okay. What was the version? 0.11.2. Okay, so 0.11.2. I think we have to then verify your download. What is this? This is very latest version. Let me just take a little bit old one. This is source Kafka 2.1.0.
It's there.
Where?
Not down actually.
Okay. Archives? Okay.
Down.
Go all the way down.
Yeah.
All the way down?
Yeah.
Oh, 0 point? What was the version? 11 point?
0.11.
Yeah, 1 minute. Let us look into that because I want to make sure that it is the exact version, because I experimented with many versions and I found out that this is the one which is working. What is the key that you have to press? Left control. Huh?
Yeah.
Left control,
No,
right?
this one.
Oh, left command, okay.
Then you come
Right,
out.
yeah. And if you look, yes, 0.11.0.2. Okay, so I'm going to download that 0.11.0.2. This is the one, right? It's a binary download, correct? It is the binary download, yes. And save the file and click OK. Let him make some noise. What? Right.
Inside him cannot sit idle,
No problem. Right. And now move downloads / what is that version? Kafka, and then put it right. And the tar xvzf Kafka. Good.
It's by Apache.
Of course. Open source means what? So you created a directory. I'm going to remove that tgz file. So rm minus rf kafka.tgz, and then I'm going to change the name of the directory so that I can easily write it as Kafka, just Kafka, right? And now cd Kafka, right? So go back to your document. You have to start the server, and it has to make sure that it is running the zookeeper, right? So how will you know whether the zookeeper is running or not? The best way is that you can just run it by writing zookeeper you can download separately, or you can use a zookeeper instance coming along with Kafka. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use that particular zookeeper. So cd Kafka, and inside that cd bin. Okay, and then we have to write what is the command? Zookeeper server start.sh. Okay, so zookeeper, see, server and why there is no start.sh is there? 1 minute. I have to do an ls, and then cd clear ls bin / zookeeper server start, that is there, server start.sh and config / zookeeper.properties. Okay, address already in use. What does that mean? In Cloudera virtual machine, it is already started. Okay, so you don't have to start it. And next step would be to start the Kafka server. Okay, so how will you start the Kafka server? I think you have to create a property file. Let me just check. Okay, config / server.properties. So what we are going to do is bin / Kafka server start.sh, and then we have to write config / server.properties and start it. Press enter. You should get a message finally, as I'm not able to see the screen fully. Let's edit profile preferences 12. Click OK. And this one. Okay, so you can see that now your Kafka is started and it is running. Okay, don't do anything on this particular window. This is reserved for Kafka, like Mongo. This is the server, right? Now you are going to open another command window. Okay, we are going to run a producer now. How will you run a producer? Okay, so go back to the document. All the steps are written, just follow exactly what is there. Before creating the producer and putting the messages, what we need? The topic, correct? Remember I mentioned to you that first you have to create the topic. So first what we are going to do, we are going to create a topic. You are going to give the zookeeper address and you are going to tell that your topic name is test. Okay, so just to copy that particular command. Is it copying into the virtual machine correctly or it won't? Go to CD Kafka. This is another command window. Okay, where is that window? Your system is.
Sorry, you have to come out from this virtual machine.
Huh? No, in the virtual machine, where is my command prompt?
Where is virtual machine?
This one is.
Where are the windows, man? How you are working without seeing all these things? Hmm?
Status bar setting.
It should show
Status bar setting. You can go
where? Here?
Right click on setting.
Status bar settings? No. Where is the other applications? Okay, let me close this file. Quit. Okay, now I can see the windows. So CD Kafka, and what we are going to do, we are going to paste this. Okay, you cannot paste. Bin slash, what is the command? Kafka create topic, I think. Okay, so see the difficulty. If you are not enabling bidirectional transfer, which I told you in the first class, this is the problem. Kafka topic.sh -- create, all this we have to type. So what I'll do, I'm just going to make this a little bit down here so that I can see.
It's only bidirectional.
Should work when you copy it. I already copied. So topics.sh, then -- create, okay, -- zookeeper localhost :2181, and then I'm going to write replication factor. What is that replication factor? Anybody? What does that mean? I'm creating only one copy, correct? Okay, and you can specify how partitions are also. Okay, partitions is 1 because we are working on one system, and -- topic. The name is test. Everything is okay. It will tell you created the topic. That means the topic is available. So you created that pipe now and you gave a name. So internally it now manages division, brokers and all. But in our case, since it is a virtual machine and we told that replication factor is 1, is only one partition and one broker, correct? After that, what you are going to do is go back here and we are going to, of course, you can type this particular command to see at any point in time whether any topic is remaining or not, okay? When you go back home, remember, use another name. Don't use test. Why? Because test is already created. Otherwise, you have to write bin/kafka topic.sh delete. That test you should delete and then you should.
So all the topics are in the bin folder.
But yeah, every command is there only. Just look at the documentation, you will get all the command. And now what we are going to do, we are going to run the producer, okay? So please look at that. I'm going to run the producer. bin/kafka console bin/kafka console producer.sh, and you have to give some parameters. One is called bootstrap -server.
That
And-
is consumer, no? Bootstrap is consumer.
Oh, sorry, consumer. Broker list. Thank you. So it is -- broker list localhost :9092. Okay. Shidal, you are following, right? -- topic. And what is the name of your topic? Test. Don't make a mistake there. If you create a topic, you have to give that topic name here. So this is a producer window. And if you press enter, it will wait. And it is asking me message. Hello. Okay. Passion. Hi. Wonderful. Ice water. Right? So we put some messages. But is there anybody to read? No. And do you think what is happening to the messages? It is residing inside
Topic.
the topic. So all that will reside until you read it. And that's the beauty. And what is the difference? We did the net stat yesterday, right? And what is the problem with the net stat? Whenever you are typing, at the time you need that consumer to be available, and you cannot put generic messages and all those kind of things, right? Now, what you're going to do? Open another command prompt, right? And then go to again cd kafka and type the next command bin slash kafka console consumer dot sh minus minus bootstrap dash server bootstrap dash server localhost 9092 and then minus minus which topic you want to read from, test, and then read it from beginning, right? Right? And now just go to that previous window, right? It is ever running. Now it will never fail. Okay, so if I go back to the previous window and if I type a new one called, let's say, bytes, and if you come back to,
It's consumer.
oh sorry, what is that? Okay, here.
Yeah, consumer.
What is this? This is, oh, this is consumer. Okay, here if I type bytes, I might minimized it. Now I don't know how to get it because it is not showing below. Ayyo. Anyway, if you are seeing that, you will see that bytes coming into picture. Okay, it will definitely show. Right? You figure out, man. You delete your virtual machine and please recreate one more time. How you work like this?
But actually, when he works, that time it doesn't happen.
What will happen? What will
I
not
mean,
happen? It is the same computer, right?
Yeah, but like,
You are able to minimize.
yeah, I mean, I didn't know, but I was watching him, doing it.
Where is minimum? Where is the minimum? You tell me now how to do it.
Putting some
See.
magic in your hands.
I think
Okay,
maybe
I am
because of
seeing
projector.
something below. Okay, let me just.
No, but
If I
cannot
click-
see it on here also, no?
I can't see.
Oh no, so this is something